Hi, guys. Welcome back to Outspoken and Overbooked. I am super excited for today's guest and the conversation with Tinsley English. Not only is she in the insurance industry, but an overall badass. The book that she wrote, her first book, Grit, Growth, and Gumption, I felt like was speaking to me because as a business owner in the insurance industry, it just spoke to me on so many different things. And so I'm so excited that you are taking the time to chat today. I have so many questions. I don't know how you do it all. I'm like, she's everywhere and she's always looking cute. So I did have to get the red blazer out. I usually wear it for Chiefs games, but we've got some free time coming up, so I can wear red more often on non-game days. So welcome, Tinsley. How's it going?
Kristin, it is an honor to be here. I am thrilled to be part of the first set of guests that you're hosting on the podcast. And we're in the midst of the holiday season, so red is very apropos. Quick spilling a little bit of Southern tea for you. I do not always look cute. I got called out by my daughter the other day that a lot of times I float around in a fuzzy pink bathrobe and the pocket is torn and it is not always the best look, but it's all about being comfortable in your environment.
Absolutely.
So
I
yes,
might
thrilled to be here. Can't wait to jump in. Let's go.
I'm so excited. I might have some hot pink pants on with this red blazer. We don't need to worry about it. It's fine.
Doesn't.
Do what makes you
It's like a
comfy.
mullet is, business in the front, party in the back. It's like business on top. Who knows what's going on the bottom, but we're here.
Yes. Naturally curly hair going on back here, straighten her up in the front. Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So yeah, I feel like there's just so many things that I want to do. Because we're kind of focusing in January on insurance people, I do always like to ask how people landed in the industry, especially ones that have been in it for a while. It's not like the most popular sought out thing. Like, I can't wait to be in insurance when I grow up. So I always like to just kind of start there, how you kind of fell into insurance or if that was something you set out to do.
Yes. So it was a real simple equation in that I was a junior at the University of Georgia, go Dogs, and I was an international business major. My advisor was never in her office. I don't know where that girl was, but I was coming up on a time where I really needed to start considering like jobs, internships. What am I going to do? My mom, who's a shout out, I talk about her a lot, was a business owner and made it real simple for me. She said, Tinsley, I don't care what you do, but you better have a job the day you graduate. And luckily, at that time, I had to pick a business elective as part of the bachelor's degree. And it was either real estate or insurance. And I thought, well, maybe one day I'm going to go to law school. So insurance seemed to be a lot of legalese, contractual liability, all those things. And I chose that and got into the class first day. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Let's see what this is about. And the professor was a great salesperson. He said, I know you guys are ladies and gentlemen are here, just check in the box to get this elective. But 95% of the kids that are graduating with this degree either have had an internship or they have a job the day they graduate. So light bulb went off in my head. 1 + 1 = 2. Mom said all I had to do was have a job the day I graduated. And luckily I got into the classwork and I really started to like it. And I was making great grades and I was getting excited about the topics. And so I called her probably 2 months into it and said, Mom, I'm changing my major. And she's like, oh, this is exciting. What are you going to do? Risk management and insurance. And dead silence, because she's a creative. She said, Tinsley, you are going to be so bored. Like you are a social butterfly. You love people. And I said, guess what? This is a people business. And there's all kinds of avenues I can go into. And luckily, she said, just run with it. I trust you. And I called her back 2 months later and said, hey, I've got a fully paid internship in San Francisco with the world's largest insurance broker. Let's go. And so, Kristin, 25 years later, we're sitting here and I've redefined myself about 4 or 5 big major career pivots. And it's definitely not been a linear climb. It's been more of like scaling the side of a mountain based on what my interests are, based on where I see needs in the market or in an organization. So if you spend 15 minutes with me, I will recruit you into the insurance industry. So ask my husband that too.
I love that. I was just speaking to somebody else about how insurance gets this bad rep that it's just this boring industry. And what people don't know is how many different places that you can go within the industry. Every day is actually different. There is a ton of money to be made, depending on the area that you fall into, but it's definitely not a boring thing. And so I really am trying to get the word out to the young people because I'm going to need more people getting jobs over the next, 5 years. So I want to know how you're able to write these books and be so good at your career. Like, how do you do it all? How do you do it all? It feels like you do it
Well,
all.
I think you can do a lot. I can't do it all, and I can't do it all at once. So, full transparency, I have a senior in high school. She is getting ready to go to college next year. So, I knew that was coming down the pike. And as they get older, you know that they need you in a different way. They don't need as much of your like picking up and holding and that
No
sort of
problem.
thing. They need more of your undivided attention when they need it. And so I just use those pockets of time, especially at night and on the weekends, to use that my free time, so to speak, in a way that's going to help other people. Obviously binging a Netflix series or going out with my girlfriends, a lot of that has taken a back burner to writing and podcasting. So my free time is really taken up by using what gifts I think God gave me to help others. And I think it's time management, a lot of it, and then using your time in a way that can help people. So I can't do it all. I do try to be very efficient with my time, after hours. I don't think there's a perfect formula, but I would say it's time management.
Well, and I absolutely love that you have a passion for helping others because, again, I go back to like the talent shortage, but it's also like the ones that are in the industry, giving, especially the females, that's going to be a passion of mine, giving them the courage or the confidence to, you know what? You applied for a promotion last year. Okay, you didn't get it. That doesn't mean the door's shut. That means you got to take a different path. You got to go back. You have to, whatever. Like, I can't handle when people just take one no and they're just like, I tried. No, this might not be where you're supposed to end up. And like, especially as a recruiter, I go for people that are obviously good, but passive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not posting jobs hoping somebody applies. I'm
Right.
trying to get the best people out there having a conversation. And 98% of the time, they're happy where they are, especially the females. I just want to make sure that I was getting paid right. By the time they're done talking to me, not only are they not getting paid right, I got all their whole entire story. Actually, they don't like that producer and how he talks to them, or they don't like, working 60-hour weeks. And so getting them on the phone to have that conversation, it's like, it's confidential, but also I always want women to be so informed. Like, are you really in the best place for your career growth? Yes, everybody likes to make more money. That's fine. But that's not the kind of candidates that I don't want that to be your number one pain point. You can make more money anywhere. When you go to leave, they're going to find more money. Having like the confidence to go ask for it and not sit in the same seat doing the same thing, I just wish that more would kind of take that leap. So I appreciate you guiding them through. So what has been we're going to get to the health stuff because that's one of the main things I want to talk about today. But on
Yes.
the business side, do you feel like you go to like a lot of conferences during the year, or how do you get your outreach to more women in the industry?
I do a lot of networking. I absolutely love a networking event as long as it's thoughtful. I've seen a lot of carriers do cool things with golf lately. I've just joined an executive ladies golf group, got a new set of golf clubs. So anything related to getting outdoors, getting outside the four walls of a bar or restaurant, those kind of networking events, they're just kind of passe. I think they were great when we were younger, but I really want to get out, get my brain moving, get my body moving, and have conversations that are not typical of a regular networking event. I love keynoting at association events or any industry conference. We've had a lot of fun with those over the last couple of years. And then the podcast. So, as well as I do, podcasting is a great way to reach lots of people in a short amount of time. And I'm even starting to do more like private podcasts for people to send to people that are in my network, like 5 to 10 minute private messages, that something that I'm vibing on that day or a topic that I really want to go deeper on. But I would say, the podcasting, the book writing, and the speaking they've been my greatest avenues. And I really have kind of created an ecosystem based on the principles of the book and based on my idea of G-Force, that I really want this to be a full ecosystem where women can access me and access the knowledge that I gather from other women under one really global umbrella.
Well, I love that. I actually just commented on something about a women in insurance golf event that I just saw on LinkedIn for February. I'm interested. I'm interested to go to Florida. I got a pink golf bag, pink and gray golf bag with clubs. Got it at a garage sale, not gonna lie. My son goes, "Did you even see if they're the right-handed ones?" I was like, "I did not." But he took me golfing. I got a birdie straight out the gate. I was like,
There we go.
he was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Is this good?" Like, I don't know. And like, I know nothing about it, but I was hooked that day. I was like, this would be so much more fun than, yes, going to do the same thing, sitting at a bar, like, what have you been doing this year? Like, I'd much rather do the golfing thing. So I really want to dive in headfirst in the spring.
And women put a lot of pressure on themselves to be really good at golf. Guess what? Most of the guys that play golf are not good either. They brag a little bit, but nobody's really good at golf. Even professional golfers don't play well 100% of the time. So like let's give ourselves like everything else women need to do. Give ourselves grace in that area. If you go
Okay.
out and you have to pick up the ball a few times and maybe you're, double parring, who cares? Did you make a
Right.
connection? Did you brighten somebody's day? Did you talk strategically about career growth? It doesn't matter if you're good at golf. Let's go out and play and have fun and enjoy like these beautiful golf clubs that we get invited to and beautiful scenic resorts. Like I'm here for it.
Yes. I am definitely here for it. And I definitely saw a lot of men looking for their golf balls too at that course when I
Yeah.
was there. So
Come on, let's get serious.
don't get it twisted. There's a golf course here in Kansas City called Lady Sykes. I love it. They have female instructors to teach you. There's, networking groups that are just for golfing. So I'm really looking forward to getting more involved in that. It's actually two insurance gals here in Kansas City that started it
I
because
love it.
they're producers at Hub and they were like missing out on deals and meetings and things because they weren't on the golf course. And so I'm like, this is freaking genius. And so I talked myself out of it last year. I didn't feel like I was ready. But then kind of my theme wrapping up 2025 going into 2026 is I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go try it. I don't like stop worrying, I'm a pretty jump in type of person, but there's still some things that I'm like, "Oh, I'll just wait." It's always the waiting and I'm like,
Okay.
stop waiting.
Yeah.
So,
So I always say, do it messy, do it imperfectly, do it anyway. It doesn't matter what you apply that theory to. Action creates confidence. It's not the other way around. You gain confidence by taking action. And failing forward is a thing. I was horrible at sports growing up, but my mom said, you showed up, you tried, you were smiling, you had fun. Who cares if you didn't win? I guess I just don't have that attachment to winning that a lot of people do. And I definitely have released the idea of perfection. So I love that you're going to go into 2026 with that mentality and let's go play some golf together. I'll come out to Kansas City.
I think I like the weather where you're at
Yeah,
better.
come to Atlanta. We've got some nice courses here.
I've seen a few. So I was talking to a different guest about goals going into 2026, and she is writing her book on the butterfly goals. So I'm asking all my other guests kind of, do you have one big goal that you're shooting for in this upcoming year?
I would say to live with gumption. Gumption's one of my favorite words. It comes from the movie The Holiday. There's like a pivotal moment in the movie where the main character realizes that she needs to live with more gumption. And that means saying yes to things that light me up and saying confidently no to things that don't serve me, to
Yeah.
people that don't serve me, to rooms that don't serve me anymore. So I would say the word of the year is gumption. And I always have a lot of goals for myself, so I could probably list those out. Launching the new book is one of the biggest ones, and then really just seeing where that book takes me. I really didn't have any clue what I was doing the first time I launched my first book, and there was a lot of grinding that was unnecessary. I really want this book to take on a life of its own and just flow with it. I'm looking for more flow state in 2026, canceling the hustle culture part.
Thank you. Because that has been on my mind heavy for, I would say, the last 3 or 4 months. And I saw one of your posts that was like, why do we keep doing things we don't want to do just so
Why?
people don't get mad at us or take care of yourself? Like, I'm politely telling you, I am not coming to this event. I don't like people that say they're coming to events that you plan and count
No,
for and
don't
pay
be
for.
flaky.
Don't be a jerk. But
Right.
it's also okay to say, that's actually overextending myself this week. And, again, it all can be polite, but yeah, the whole thing also of not waiting around. So my butterfly goal is to go back to teaching
Awesome.
spin classes this year. And I was like looking at the calendar and I'm like, why am I waiting till all of a sudden on January 1st, 2026, I'm ready. I'm like,
Yeah.
I applied. I sent my application yesterday. I'm like, I'm
Yes.
actually ready now. Let me get the recertification going. Like, why am I waiting for the clock to strike midnight? First, I'm not going to be awake at midnight. But it's like, stop with the waiting. Stop being in the same spot a year, 2 years, and like just waiting to be like, let me try that next year. It's
And
like, okay,
everything great is on the other side of fear. I promise you. I promise this to any woman who is sitting out there listening to this. What you're waiting on doing is waiting for you. Just start. Just take one step forward. I will promise you this. It is so much fun. Like, I want your listeners to write into you to say after this episode, okay, I listened to you in Tinsley. I am doing X. I started it. It looked really crazy the first step I took, but I took a step. And then that creates such momentum, Kristen. I truly believe everything that I've done over the last 2 years, writing a book, writing a second book, starting a podcast, coaching women in Ghana, Africa in the insurance industry. I didn't know how to do any of that, but I just did it.
right. And I feel like it is such a snowball effect. Like I always go back to, it's probably been like 13 years now, but I finally had enough. I weighed 359 pounds. I was so unhealthy, so stressed, single mom, making about $11 an hour. It was just an ugly time. So it's been more, anyway, maybe 15 years. Time does fly. And I just woke up and I said enough. And from that day, I lost 155 pounds
Holy
through
cow.
hard work. I might have gotten some newlywed weight in 2020 that stayed on. But anyway, the bulk of it is still off. The point is that snowballed into more confidence in my career, more questions asked. I do want to be licensed. I do want to sell. I do see these commission statements and I went interested in my name being
Yeah.
on one of them. Asking the questions, moving up when I knew I had reached as high as I could go at a place. My mom says, I don't know where you came from because I'm the fifth of 7 kids. She's like, you're not scared like any of them. You're just going to go do it. I was like, because I'm ready to follow it up with work. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I'm not just talking. I'm the one that had to get up at 4:45 every day and go work out and make those meals and do those things. So like, nobody said like, "Boop, there you go." It was
Oh,
years of
yeah.
hard work. You know what I mean? And people were like, why are you doing all these races? Because when you can't walk a mile and you just did your first triathlon, you're on such a high that it's like, when's the next one? When's the next one? And like I said, it just went into everything. How I raised my son, how, just the confidence walking into his school, his private school, and being like, I actually will be the PTO president. Even though I'm a single mom and we live in the smallest rental house down the street, who cares? Like, I'm not going to be embarrassed about anything. I deserve to be here as much as anybody else. He's still, he's a paying student and I'm an involved mom. And so it just made my life better. And I just want to pass that on to others, whether it be in business, fitness, whatever. That's why I love teaching spin so much, is like the gal coming in, like so nervous to get on that bike. It's like, just come on, do what you can today. Go a little harder tomorrow. Actually, don't overdo it because I've seen
Yeah.
people
Your
like
legs will
throw up.
buckle underneath you.
Yeah. So I really hope that it works out, at the gym that I applied at. If not, I will find my home for that. But it's something I set out to do. And I do make things public a lot of times because I do like the accountability of, I made a commitment. I'm going to go do it.
Well, and that's
So
inspiring somebody too. Like your accountability by putting it out there is actually the spark that somebody else needed to say, okay, Kristen's going to do this. I'm going to go do XYZ. So
yeah,
you're not only being accountable, but you're also inspiring somebody, and you have no idea who's watching you. People are always watching you. And I love this. Reese Witherspoon says there's 3 types of people in the world or that are going to be in your ecosystem. So a third of them will love you. They're like, Kristen's awesome. Anything Kristen says or does, I am liking, sharing, commenting. And then you got the lukewarmies. You've got the ones that are like, it's okay. I might like do a little like, or I might give her a shout out. She's just okay.
right,
There's not anything special about her. And then there are the haters. Like Taylor says, haters are going to hate. And there are the people that just don't like you because they don't like your face. They don't like your voice. They don't
right.
like the things that you do or the way that you do them. And I spent many years as a people pleaser and wanting everybody to like me. And as I'm closing in on 50, I really don't care. Like, if you like
Right.
me, that's great. Let's vibe. Let's collaborate. If you don't like me, that's okay. You can't like everybody and everybody can't like you. There's people that I don't like. So I don't devote time to them. Women just worry too much about being people pleasers. And I think that comes with that being confident enough to say no to things that you don't want. And also just look at your tribe. Who are the people that are in it in your camp, and who are the people that are just kind of lukewarm, and then the ones that are not in your camp at all. Make sure you keep your fire circle tight.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's easy to cheer people on when things are all great and happy and you know what I mean? And when I am with Taylor Swift, once we become best friends, do you see her back here?
Oh, I didn't even see her back there. There we go.
Oh my gosh. My mom got me that 2 years ago. Colored penciled. They made like 120 of them. It's like my most prized possession. I adore it. And there's a lot of Taylor stuff throughout my office. And her record is over there, like her poster record. But people that cheer you on, like I just did my vulnerable post yesterday with my crying face. Looking back on that time in my life, that was terrible. Losing my job, all the things that I went through, starting my business. Who was checking on me back then? That is how you know. Not like, oh, she's making money now. She's going on these trips now. Yeah, like now I want to have. You showed when I was in that state of those tears. I don't know. It's just like, you just got to be aware of that third that is not out for your best interest. And it sucks because I'm like, why am I even on your radar? Or why is that even a thing? But it's like, I'm just going to keep doing me because that's the only way I know how to be. I can't be thinking, does that so-and-so who told so-and-so get a life is what I want to say sometimes. Like, I'm like actually trying to do this to motivate women, to inspire women. You know what I'm saying? Like all for the greater good. It's nothing, if I don't, it doesn't deserve negativity, but if that's what people put out, you can kind of see in their own lives that that's why their lives maybe are the way that they are because they're
Well, and there's
negative.
creators out there. You're a creator. I'm a creator. That makes people uncomfortable.
Who
When
does
you
she
color
think she
outside the
is?
line, it makes people feel uncomfortable, and if they're not creating, that makes them feel vulnerable, and it's just a cycle. You feel bad for them, but I'm not gonna stop creating because it makes you uncomfortable.
Right. It took me like 5 months of my coach telling me to do this podcast. And I was like, mm-mm. I was like, it sounds like another thing. It sounds like another thing. No one's going to watch it or listen to it. So I was like, I'll do 6 episodes. I'll see if I like it. But like, need to make sure I'm enjoying it, which so far I am. Like, I feel like the conversations are just going to be even like getting better and better. It's when I get out of my own head and don't try to be like a scripted person because that's not me. And it doesn't,
No.
vibe, well for whatever the person that I am. But I want to talk to you about, we both had health scares in the last couple of years, and also the subject of perimenopause and menopause,
Right.
because that's one of the reasons I wanted to start this is so many gals that I'm friends with, they're like, I just figure my doctor said it's normal, like with the blood work. I'm like, do your own research, advocate. Like, I have spent this year up in their business at that doctor's office, at the
Yes.
specialist, at my other specialist. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not going to do this for my whole life. My progesterone was as if I had gone through menopause. It was
Right.
0.5.
Yeah.
My testosterone was like 3.
Love
I'm like,
it.
I'm telling you, I can't do this.
I got inspired to write this book back in, I guess it was May of this year when I participated in like a live podcast with my friend Meg McKean. And we were talking about my first book, but we were also talking about midlife leadership. And the conversation turned to menopause and hormones. And I shared a very vulnerable story about a health scare that resulted in me passing out on my kitchen floor and being rushed to the hospital. And it was a result of a fibroid tumor that had taken up residence in my uterus. And I almost had to have a blood transfusion. It was like a life and death situation. And it was a wake up call for me. And then what happened after that occurred was that, like you, I got kicked into early menopause, or early perimenopause because, I didn't have a uterus anymore, and I started having the hot flashes, the night sweats, the anxiety, the brain fog, the weight gain. It was just all crashing down at once, and I realized the doctor that had been placating me for the last 2 years with me coming to her and saying, like, having really irregular heavy bleeding all the time. She's like, "It's part of getting older. If you get a hysterectomy, you'll be out of commission for 6 weeks." And you can't tell somebody that is a high achieving woman that 6 weeks of bed rest, like, that's
Yeah.
not a thing for us. And it was misinformation. She had me on and off the pill. She did an ablation that failed. It was just she wasn't educated as far as really what I was going through. And she wasn't asking the right questions. And just like you, I'd go to the healthcare provider and I'd come back to work and I've got 48 emails and I don't feel any better. I'm crying in my car. My pants are tight. It's just like this perfect storm. And so after this conversation with Meg McKean and these ladies last spring, I said, there's more here. There's more meat on this bone for this conversation. And so somebody was like, well, you should submit it for a TED Talk. And I was like, great. I've tried out for TED Talks before. I haven't landed one, but okay, I'll write it. And I was like, what would be a great name for this? And I thought, well, I'm a leadership aficionado. I love talking about self leadership more than anything. Let's call it leading through the pause. And because menopause, right? It's a play on word.
Right.
So I submitted the TED Talk. I did not get it. And rather than say, oh, well, that's not a good idea, I was like, well, why don't I just write another book about it? Of course, my husband's like, not again. And my daughter's like, not again. And I'm like, I promise I can do this quicker and faster.
I know it
and
better now.
and
Yeah.
better than I did before. And so, Kristin, what happened was it really turned into me writing a book like I always do. I asked myself 100 questions that I wanted to answer for the reader. What are 100 questions I can answer for her? And then I kind of frame it out in an Excel document, taking her through like why I need to tell this story, why I need to tell this story now, what I want her to learn, how I want her to feel. So like, kind of mapping out the journey for the reader. And then it was just off to the races. I love a framework. So the leading is the lead framework. So if you want me to, I'll just jump in quickly to what all those mean.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the L in lead is listen, and that is listening to the signals that your body is sending and not ignoring them. When we're young and we have children and maybe we have a headache or something like that and we're white knuckling through childcare and daycare and all those things that you have to deal with small children, you can get by on like a pack of crackers and a couple of cups of coffee or a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
That is not going to be the same when you're going through huge hormonal shifts. So I really want you to sit down and pause and listen to what your body's been telling you, whether it's a frozen shoulder, whether it's chronic UTIs. Did you know that is a symptom of perimenopause? Or the traditional night sweats, hot flashes. Start cataloging those out. And then I want you to educate yourself. Educate yourself. Like you said before, educate yourself on how are these things causing me to show up at work, waking up every night at 1 o'clock and then I'm not going back to sleep till 4. What do I look like in that Monday morning meeting? Or if I'm snapping at my team, or by 2 o'clock, like 3 cups of coffee is not even going to get it. So like start to correlate the symptoms and the signals to your leadership and educate yourself. And not only educate yourself on how it's showing up for work, but personally, there's a huge amount of people that get divorced during perimenopause and menopause because they stop communicating with their spouses. Their spouses just they're not connecting the dot
Understand.
that this is a health scare. So once you've listened and once you've educated yourself, then I want you to advocate for yourself. And that's exactly what you said you were doing. Advocate for yourself at your doctor's office. If your doctor is not listening to you, send them a separation notice, just like you would a colleague. So, I put you on a performance review plan. You failed to improve. You failed to educate yourself on what a woman of my age needs. We're done. I'm going to go find a squad of people that understands the cognitive, the emotional, the physical of what I'm going through, and advocate for your coworker, advocate for yourself within your organization, better menopausal benefits, more flexibility in your workday. And then the last part of the lead framework is design. So design the next chapter to be your best chapter. Menopause is not a time to mute. It is not a time to shrink. Our
Or get by.
mothers and grandmothers just settled. They just settled for less. And I just don't want that to happen. I say, not on my watch. Like, it will not be the same for our daughters that it was for our mothers and grandmothers, but it's up to us right now to grasp the importance, because so many high achieving women look like they're burning out or they're not capable of going to that next level or starting their business or managing a large team. Or running, a board of directors, because it's not because they're not capable, but the healthcare system and really organizations have failed us. And so it's time. The time is now for us to shine the light on this silent leadership crisis.
Yeah, because it affects everything. The brain fog killed me at the beginning. I'm like, what? Like, what did I go in this room for? The like energy level. I'm a very energetic person. It's like, okay, like I need to lay down. Like, am I a senior citizen? Like, that's not me. I could tell the emotions, the swings, the mood swings. I mean,
Mhm.
they came and they came quick. And I would be crying. And then I'd look at my husband and be like, I have no idea. I don't even know why I just got upset about that. Like, I would not even know where it came from. And then it would be gone. And I'd be like, okay, I feel crazy. So about
Yeah, and
my,
we're gaslighting ourselves. You're not
yeah,
crazy. You're
it's
you're
like
depleted.
no one wants to feel this way, I assure you.
No, no.
Like, my elbow, my shoulder, like, what is going on? So about a year and a half ago, I woke up with a sore right calf. I was heading to Dallas, part business, part fun, and I was like, whatever, it felt like a Charlie horse in my right calf. Threw my massage gun in the bag, hit the road, drove to Dallas, did my thing. I could barely walk into that meeting because my calf hurt so bad, but I was still like, God, it must, maybe I'm dehydrated now from drinking at the freaking pool yesterday or whatever. Ignore it. Go to the meeting, get in the car to come home. I was with my assistant at the time. We stopped in Oklahoma. I'm just like hitting that massage gun so hard. I get home. My husband's out of town volunteering. I go to sleep, wake up the next day, work out, go for coffee and a walk with a friend, mowed our 3 yards. He's coming home that day. He was volunteering at this camp. And I was like, I don't think I've ever had shortness of breath, but I think this is shortness of breath. Like, should I just wait for you to get home? He's a firefighter, paramedic. And he's like, no, do you want me to call 911 right now? I was like, seems ridiculous, but I was like, I'll go. I go up the street to the community hospital. It's like a step above an urgent care. I had a pulmonary embolism. The blood clot was in my right calf, had gone to both my lungs.
My gosh.
And they were like, you would have died today. I did not put it together until I researched pulmonary embolisms after. I was crying 4 days. I had my 23-year-old over here holding him so tight. I was like, just so you know, you're the love of my life if anything happened. Anyway, I ignored it. Again, if you read about pulmonary embolisms and how they are a silent killer to any age, any health person, I knew nothing about it. It would have killed me, scared the crap out of me. I actually have a blood condition. I'm on blood thinners now for the rest of my life. I woke up this summer, speaking of advocating, and this is why my hormonal journey has been different, is because the risk of blood clots with hormones, I can't take most of them. So finding the answers of what I can take, we have it figured out now, but it was not easy. And they've all said no. I had to get 3 doctors on board, but we're on our path. But May 22nd of this year, I woke up, I looked at my husband, I go, I have a blood clot in my right calf right now. I know I do. But now I'm listening and paying attention.
Now you're listening.
I go to another version, different location of the place I went the first time. Should have just gone where I know. They did a blood test. He's like, no, you're fine. This male doctor who I have words with. But I knew. So then I called my female doctor, my blood doctor in Kansas City. Shout out Natalie. She's the best thing that's ever happened to this journey. She's like, get to KU right now. Sure enough, there it was. But had I not listened to him, we were leaving the next day to go camping. He said, actually, he could probably get off your blood thinners. Didn't even look at my chart to read enough that I'm on it for life. Anyway, it opened my eyes to people are uninformed. If you don't advocate for yourself, like if I was young and dumb, like it's a very expensive medicine. Thank God my husband has great benefits. I would have been like, yes, I don't have to take this expensive medicine anymore. And then like it would have just ended however. So anyway, it's been a very eye-opening experience, scary as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But again, listening to yourself. My friend, I was at her pool the week after this happened. She's like, my right calf hurts. Come to find out, she had a blood clot too.
No.
It ended up being, hers was much worse, unfortunately. Like they found out that she had stage 3 or 4 cancer. But that was her body telling her that things are awry.
Your
But none of
body is
us are
telling you things. Your body is telling you things, and
Yeah.
you have to choose to listen.
Right. And do something about it. You don't just say, I could have said from the main doctor saying, oh no, we wouldn't let you do hormones. But instead, I told my blood doctor in detail, I cannot do this crying mood swing thing. It's affecting who I am. I know this isn't right. And like getting everybody on the same page, going to a specialist, paying out of pocket. I'm like, I felt like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman when I was like, I got real money to spend here. Cause I'm like, at this point, it's not about the money anymore.
And then
It's
you're
like,
going
I
back
don't
then
give
to the old doctor and you're being like, big mistake, huge. Like that's
huge.
how I want women to feel. Kristin, I want women to feel optimized in
Yes.
this season. Because can you imagine if we can start having this conversation? If I have this conversation today with 3 people and you have it with 3 people and they have it with 3 people, like this will compound and it will not just be like we have a seat at the table. It's like a table flipping moment because everybody is so optimized that we're not falling off the radar anymore. There's not any more of this quiet quitting. There's not any more of this quiet cracking, whatever the phrase du jour is. We're feeling good. We're feeling maybe not just back to our old selves, better than our old selves. I do think that that is achievable. It will not look the same for me as it does for you.
Exactly.
Everybody's menopause journey is different. Everybody is different from, from their genetics and their family history of what is going to work for them. But you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family to ask the right questions and make sure you've got the right people on your team.
And not act like this is just some new made up thing. Just because it was pushed under the rug or ignored before, it doesn't mean that they didn't suffer through it. But again, we're in a day and age where we have the tools. I'm looking to use them. I'm looking to use them. Like, I don't want to be miserable. I want to go travel. I want to feel, my happy self and, in control and all of that and high energy. So I just encourage women, do not listen to one. If you know something's wrong,
Yes.
don't just stop at one place and be like, well, the blood work says normal. Okay, well, bullshit. Look deeper. I'm guarantee it's not. So, okay, well, I don't want to take that much more of your time. We went over the year to come. I cannot wait. Do you have a timeline on your book or?
We're going to say January 2026. So perhaps by the time this episode airs, it will be out in the ecosystem. The ebook will come out first and then the print book. And I will tell everybody out here, I know you're busy women. It is 100 pages, start to finish. It is a plane ride. Read.
Right.
You can open it up when you take off, and when you land, you'll be done with it. And then you'll come back to it and do the exercises. Just like my other book, I want you to scribble, scrabble in it. There'll be a companion workbook that you can reflect in, but I don't mind if you write in my books. That's how I design them. And I'm really excited about the formatting of this book. It's very cool and intuitive, and I just can't wait to get it in everybody's hands and to start having the workshops and the keynotes to support it and really just help women lead through this season and make their next chapter the best chapter.
I love it so much. When this posts, we will put a link to your pages on there so they know when it comes out. And I am thrilled to read it myself. And I appreciate your time so much coming on. I hope you have the best holiday season.
I hope you do too, Kristin. And good luck with season 1. I know it's going to be fantastic.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay.